A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Mariam Vijayaratna. Let's look at the headlines first. Central Bank cracks down on cryptocurrency. Sri Lanka tourism cultivates new source markets. News in detail. Chief Magistrate of Colombo recently ordered 8 investment accounts opened in the United States by the directors of OnMax DT Limited to be frozen immediately. The illegal pyramid scheme came into public attention after the central bank made public complaints accusing OnMax DT of breaching the Banking Act. Reportedly, this is the first time a Sri Lankan court has issued an order to a financial company based in the United States. The Criminal Investigations Department revealed that the group of persons had invested over 430 million rupees in 8 accounts with Binance.com and requested the court to issue an order suspending any transactions of those accounts for 6 months. The CID told the courts the CEO of Binance.com will be informed of the decision via email. Accounts under the title of OnMax DT Limited Sri Lanka, OnMax Limited Australia, 2 joint accounts and 3 other individual accounts are to be frozen. The court also issued a travel ban on 6 directors of OnMax DT for their alleged involvement in the fraud. The magistrate also ordered the heads of Bank of Ceylon, Central Finance, Nations Trust, Ceylon Bank and People's Trust Bank to freeze 57 accounts owned by the suspects. Charges have been filed against the suspects under Section 83 of the Banking Act and Section 3 of the Money Laundering Act. Initially, it was the central bank that commenced investigations in terms of Section 83C of the Banking Act, number 30 of 1988, to ascertain whether the entity violate and/or have violated the provisions of the Act. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has determined that the entity and directors, founders and promoters of the entity have conducted prohibited schemes in contravention to the provisions of Section 83C of the Banking Act. The Sri Lankan Embassy for Vietnam, in coordination with Sri Lanka Tourism, successfully hosted a tourism promotion seminar at the Chancery of the Embassy in Hanoi recently. The seminar was organized with the intention of promoting tourism from Vietnam to Sri Lanka. The seminar was attended by travel agents, media personnel, tourism promotional institutions and officials of International Cooperation Department of National Administration of Tourism. It was attended by Vice President and General Secretary of Vietnam Travel Agent and President of the Media Club of Hanoi, as well as some senior officials of the embassy. The seminar was coordinated with support of Sri Lanka Tourism and the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotional Bureau. The seminar was addressed by the President of Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators and the President of Tourist Hotels Association of Sri Lanka. SLTPB Chairman, SLAITO President and THASL President were able to convey a compelling message to the Vietnamese travel agents and tourism promotional institutions as well as the media personnel. It was stated that post-COVID Sri Lanka is now fully open to welcome tourists and travelers, particularly from Vietnam, and that tourism from Vietnam to Sri Lanka is basically minimal. It was stated that in 2022, approximately 10 million Vietnamese traveled out of the country, mostly to Asian countries like Japan, China and South Korea. And if Sri Lanka were to capture just 0.5% of the travelers to Sri Lanka, it would translate to 50,000 tourists inbound to Sri Lanka. Among the Vietnamese dignitaries who addressed the meeting were the Director of International Cooperation Department of Vietnam and the General Secretary of Vietnam Society of Travel Agents. Planters Association of Ceylon announced that nearly ₹1 billion will be allocated towards recommencing the construction on infrastructure in several RPCs in the country. Media spokesperson of the PA recently said the project will drive sustainable livelihood for the plantation community. According to the Plantation Human Development Trust, a tri-party organization consisting of the government, RPCs and plantation trade unions will be overlooking the project. The construction is expected to be completed in 6 months to benefit of 500 estate workers and their families in Galle, Ratnapura, Kandy, Hatton and Nuwara. The Planters Association of Ceylon announced that nearly ₹1 billion will be allocated towards recommencing the construction of over 500 housing units and 19 early childhood development centers. The 550 square feet house, which is modular in design, will be built on a 7-perch block of land each. The house comes complete with 2 bedrooms, a sitting room, kitchen, toilet, pipe-borne water and a small space for home gardening. In the meantime, 474 million rupees will be utilized to construct 19 CDCs where children of estate workers are provided security and care during work hours. It is done as part of the Early Childhood Development Project introduced in 2015. Dr. Rajadure, in his statement, thanked the donors and stakeholders who have played a major role in implementing these initiatives. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Board of Investment has emphasized digitalization and introduced several new measures to digitally promote foreign direct investment. This is also expected to help improve Sri Lanka's ease of doing business ranking. With data-driven connected business ecosystems are fast becoming the gold standard, the Board of Investment embarked on its digital transformation amidst the pandemic. Its solution for a paperless documentation platform allows enterprises registered under the BOI to electronically submit documents. The sole objective of this system is to provide a speedy service of enterprises, one where processes and procedures have been simplified and streamlined. The system is to open both local and foreign enterprises which aspire to embark on an investment journey with the BOI. The system comprises 6 categories and introduces much needed transparency to BOI operations and is validated by automated audits with accuracy. The automated process to reconcile imports against exports is done by the enterprise's duty-free items. Once the system is implemented, it automatically reconciles whether the imports and exports are up to the agreed and expected level. This is one of the major breakthroughs in the history of digitalization at the Board of Investment. The BOI is of the view that the new system has potential to increase the effectiveness of doing business. It is also expected to identify new investors and provide value through digital service delivery. This development is meant to signaling to the world that the Board of Investment is ready to serve investors digitally while adhering to the highest global standards. It has been reported that the Export Development Board under its new chairman Dr. Kingsley Bernard plans to bring in $31.3 billion by 2027. If realized, this will help the nation close the shortfall in foreign exchange and stabilize the economy. The chairman's 7-point strategy stems from several new initiatives as well as refining existing policies to develop and boost exports. These include successful implementation of the National Export Strategy 2023 to 2027, strengthening and diversifying export markets by integrating into global value chains and enabling exporters to innovate and expand. This also includes a mechanism to monitor and encourage repatriation of export proceeds, programs to develop new small and medium enterprises in the sector, and exporter facilitation to improve the ease of doing business. Chairman Bernard of the EDB maintains that merchandise exports need to be doubled to $26 billion within the next 5 years, while emphasizing that service exports must be increased to $5.3 billion. The EDB chairman views as vital the integration into global value chains in order to identify 10 to 15 potential new markets with an annual 5% increase in market share. Further, plans are in motion to increase market share in the top 10 existing export markets by 10% annually. These markets include US, UK, India, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Canada, UAE, Belgium and France, as there exist multiple opportunities to offer innovative and value-added products. The Export Development Board has a set forecast performance of $18.51 billion in merchandise and service export in 2023. This comprises $15.93 billion from merchandise export and $2.58 billion from services exports. Sri Lanka was elected by acclamation to the United Nations Commissions on the State of Women. It was elected recently by the members of the United Nations Economic and Social Council in New York for a 4-year term from 2024 to 2028. Sri Lanka's candidature was presented based on the country's long-standing tradition of promoting and protecting the rights of women and girls at the national level and its commitment towards eliminating discrimination based on gender. Sri Lanka ratified the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women in 1981. Sri Lanka remains fully committed to adopting consistent and sustainable pro-equality and pro-empowerment policies towards women, including party of status in decision-making process. By being elected to the Commission on the Status of Women, Sri Lanka continues its international engagement in the area of women's employment.
In accordance with Council Decision 2002/234, I invite the Council to elect members to the Commission on the Status of Women for a 4-year term of office, beginning at the first meeting of the Commission's 69th session in 2024 and expiring at the close of the Commission's 72nd session in 2028. Since the number of candidates from the African states, the Asia-Pacific states, the Latin American and Caribbean states, and the Western European and other states is equal to or less than the number of vacancies, may I take it that the Council wishes to elect by acclamation Bangladesh, Belgium, the plurinational state of Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Mali, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and Sri Lanka to the Commission on the Status of Women for a 4-year term of office beginning at the first meeting of the Commission's 69th session in 2024 and expiring at the close of the Commission's 72nd session in 2028. I hear no objection. It is so decided.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back with the stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 18.78 points to close at 9,260.41 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 7.12 points to close at 2,711.10. The turnover was 0.9 billion rupees and over 59 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all we have for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Have a great weekend. Take care and good night.